In the late 2010s, the aviation world had come to a consensus. The Airbus A380, the largest passenger jet in history, was a commercial failure. Airlines were canceling orders left and right. Planes barely a decade old were already being sent to the scrapyard in the desert. The entire industry was moving on to smaller, more fuel-efficient, twin-engine jets. But right in the middle of the A380's funeral procession, Japan's largest airline, All Nippon Airways, ANA, a famously conservative airline that heavily favored Boeing twin jets, did the unthinkable. They bought 3 of them. They painted them like giant Hawaiian sea turtles, and they deployed them on exactly one route. To the casual observer, it looked like a sudden, bizarre lapse in corporate judgment. Why would ANA buy the very plane everyone else was desperately trying to get rid of? The truth is that ANA didn't really want the A380. They bought them to win a high-stakes, behind-the-scenes corporate war. It was a war involving a bankrupt rival, a furious European manufacturer, and some of the most valuable airport real estate in the world. To understand the turtles, we have to go back to 2010. Meet Skymark Airlines, Japan's largest independent low-cost carrier. For years, they had successfully annoyed the country's legacy duopoly, ANA and Japan Airlines, JAL. But Skymark's CEO, Shinichi Nishikubo, got incredibly ambitious. He didn't just want to fly domestically, he wanted to fly internationally, and he didn't want to start small. In 2010, Skymark shocked the world by ordering 6 Airbus A380s, planning to fly them from Tokyo to London and New York. It was a massive gamble, and they lost. By 2014, the Japanese yen plummeted, fuel prices fluctuated, and Skymark's aggressive expansion had drained its cash. They couldn't pay the installments on their new superjumbos. Airbus was furious. They canceled the contract and demanded a massive $700 million cancellation fee. This was the fatal blow. In January 2015, Skymark officially filed for bankruptcy. But Skymark had something incredibly valuable, something other airlines would kill for: 36 daily landing slots at Tokyo Haneda Airport. Haneda is right next to downtown Tokyo, making it a gold mine for business travel. If another airline could sponsor Skymark out of bankruptcy, they would effectively control those Haneda slots. The battle lines were drawn, and the sharks began to circle. 2 major players stepped up to sponsor Skymark's restructuring: ANA and the American giant Delta Airlines. Delta wanted to crack the Japanese market. ANA wanted to ensure a foreign rival didn't set up shop in their backyard, and they desperately wanted those 36 Haneda slots to finally crush their main rival, JAL. But there was a catch. To win the sponsorship, you needed the vote of Skymark's creditors. The largest creditor, holding the keys to the entire kingdom, was Airbus, owed that $700 million cancellation fee. Airbus wasn't happy. Skymark's collapse was a black eye for the A380 program, and they had half-built planes sitting in Europe with no buyer. Delta Airlines, an entirely Boeing-heavy airline at the time, had no interest in buying A380s just to appease Airbus. But ANA saw an opportunity. In a brilliant, ruthless piece of corporate diplomacy, ANA approached Airbus. The unspoken agreement became clear. If Airbus voted for ANA's restructuring plan for Skymark, ANA would take care of the A380 problem. In August 2015, Airbus voted for ANA's plan. ANA won the Haneda slots, and Delta was sent packing. 5 months later, in January 2016, ANA officially announced an order for 3 Airbus A380s. The list price was roughly $1.2 billion. ANA essentially bought 3 massive airplanes as a political bribe to secure airport slots. Making lemons into lemonade, ANA had won the war, but now they had a billion-dollar problem. They were about to receive 3 of the largest passenger jets in the world, and their network wasn't built for the A380. Where on earth do you fly 520-seat airplanes when you only have 3 of them? You can't spread them across a global network. They needed a high-volume, premium-heavy route that operated like a shuttle. They looked across the Pacific and found their target, Honolulu, Hawaii. For decades, Japan Airlines had an absolute monopoly on the lucrative Tokyo to Hawaii leisure market. It was JAL's cash cow. ANA decided to take their 3 new giants and point them all directly at Hawaii. If they were going to do this, they were going to turn it into a massive marketing event. They branded the fleet the Flying Honu, named after the Hawaiian green sea turtle, a symbol of good luck and prosperity. They designed 3 distinct vibrant liveries: Lani, blue, representing the Hawaiian sky; Kai, green, representing the ocean; and Kala, orange, representing the sunset. Inside, the planes were custom-built for Japanese tourists. They featured first-class suites for honeymooners, premium economy for retirees, and a unique couch seating system in economy, allowing families with young children to lie flat. When the first flying Honu launched in spring 2019, it was a smash hit. ANA practically doubled their market share to Hawaii overnight. The A380s were flying full, and the massive gamble was actually working. But the triumph was agonizingly short-lived. In March 2020, just months after the second A380-8er entered service, and before the third one, the Orange Kala, could even be delivered, the COVID-19 pandemic shut down the globe. Hawaii implemented a strict 14-day quarantine. International tourism evaporated overnight. The absolute worst plane to own during a global pandemic is a 520-seat double-decker jet. After less than a year of service, the Flying Honus were grounded. To keep the pilots certified and the mechanical systems from decaying, ANA had to fly the planes anyway. They turned lemons into lemonade yet again, offering flights to nowhere. Japanese aviation enthusiasts paid hundreds of dollars to board the A380 at Narita, fly in a giant circle over Japan, drink Hawaiian-themed cocktails, and land exactly where they started. It was a clever way to generate a tiny bit of revenue, but it was a dark time. For over 2 years, these billion-dollar machines sat idle, a painful reminder of a world that had suddenly stopped. The story of the Flying Honu, however, doesn't end in a scrapyard. In 2022, as travel restrictions eased, the turtles finally returned to the skies, and in late 2023, the third and final A380-8 officially joined the rotation. Today, ANA operates all three A380-8s on the Narita-Honolulu route. The flights are once again packed with tourists, honeymooners, and families. So, was it worth it? From a pure aviation economic standpoint, operating a subfleet of just 3 massive 4-engine aircraft is incredibly expensive and inefficient. Maintenance costs are high, and flexibility is zero. But you have to remember why they bought them. ANA secured those 36 daily slots at Haneda Airport. Those slots allowed ANA to expand its highly lucrative domestic and international business networks, cementing its status as Japan's #1 airline and leaving Skymark as a reorganized, smaller partner rather than a Delta-backed threat. The 3 A380s were essentially the cost of doing business. It was a brilliant, multi-million-dollar chess move disguised as giant sea turtles. ANA bought the white elephant of the aviation industry, dressed it in a Hawaiian shirt, and forced it to make a profit. It remains one of the most bizarre, brilliant, and utterly unique fleet decisions in the history of modern aviation.